each other earlier on in the tournament, but obviously that was before we saw the mass changes to the composition. Especially in late retakes, that could be an issue.
Yeah, especially looking at their game yesterday, G2 were always having Petrus and the A side wide open with a free plant and a little bit of aggression being thought of. GX has gone inside the smoke. I saw that Alki had walked up with her, but they're not going to commit to it. Instead, just tucking in this corner and looking to punish that retake. They are looking as they come out, but not able to deal with her before 3 bodies are on the ground. That should be this round done and dusted.
So much still to use.
Mimi's utility that would come blitzing into mid and punishing any aggression.
This first half is kind of everything for either side. Like, G2 have been incredible at playing the defensive side with this composition, racking up the majority of their rounds. But KC, as you saw mentioned, they've basically been unstoppable when it comes to this attack. Nello has somehow managed to find 2 with a classic in a second. It definitely makes this one a little bit more interesting. Spike could even be halved, attempted to be stuck out as well. That's something that G2 are considering.
Already rotations coming in. I think they had heard the breach stun come through. At that point, you got to take it in the other direction, and they have found a much more open site. Nello had utility based in garage. She's pushing up though, taking a risk to try to stop that spike from going down, and it's worked out. It could have been left down to a retake, and KC could have had a chance in closer angles and with an outlaw on range, but instead the spike, very much so. Great ideas from KC, and that aggression, if punished, could have been dangerous, but like you said, it really caught them off guard. That stun is perfect from Mimi. Short control, constantly being fought for, whether it's Vanya or whether it's a teammate. And now Nello with that deep well, there wasn't any need to jump out there.
Like, this is a one and done. This is a chance for KC to get back into the round, but GX already on half health and support. Okay. That's a great bait. It was a great bait from Mimi. She's trying to sell the idea that there's no way there's anyone there, and that's why Amy got the kill. Definitely intentional and not a mistake.
Yeah, I think the exact opposite happened. Oh, that's a nice spray. She wraps behind the box now, just tucked only one angle to really worry about. Starts to clear the rest. And they know that there's Cypher utility waiting for them, and at this point, probably a rotation. What they don't know is that Mimi has gone this aggressive, hearing absolutely everything. The info is theirs. There is a lurk left behind by GX. Perhaps she'll be able to get value later, but Nello coming out. This also sells the idea there's not someone behind. They think that was the first piece of aggression, but they are so far wrong. But the problem is, again, they're still here. Nello is eagerly awaiting the arrival of someone in the cam, is spotting all the info.
They still got to try and figure out where she is. Nice work. We'll get one. But the salvos through have taken down GX. 20 seconds. Almost. Oh, actually will be stunned up.
3-2. It is a close start in terms of scoreline, but these coming rounds. Indeed, big weaknesses across the board, and Alkia dropped as well.
I don't expect to see that Rolling Thunder utilized unless they manage to find some huge impacts over the next couple of fights. And you can see that there's no reason for G2 Gozen to really overface in this scenario. Still having plenty of utility. Safia gone. Vanya, I was going to say, if she's sticking this, that's mental, but decides to fall back.
Game will slip away, and this is the problem. G2, they don't give opportunities. They're grouped as 4 towards this. What was that? Okay, gave an opportunity with the repeat, but they're shutting it down across the board.
They had such an impeccable... I just glanced down, but again, a lot of this round just came off the back of, can Alkia do something with this Blade Storm? The answer so far has been no, and I can't really say I expect too much here. Salvos will isolate her. Nice work on the first. They still need to isolate Vanya at the back of that site.
Yeah, they know that she was here, but at least on long. But the gate crash could have been used to get out there. Information about to find its way into their hands. Stun lined up, fired out, and indeed both players are going to be trapped under heaven as a result. There was only one left out in the open, and they are already dealt with. Nello on the swing, grabs one, and it's the Blade Storm down. The rest of the squad waiting for a threat that they haven't sensed since those ultis have been online. They know that this op is here. It found a pick in the previous round. 2 players crossed it, but now the advantage with the Rolling Thunder. It is dodged by Petra and then sent back in the other direction. Mimi's ult now used, and this is why they held on to them. Now ready for the fight together. The Armageddon used, but the end of KC's days had already come. It's GX alone. Spike, and even then the 3 would just stand on it right into the op week.
It seems like they have these early brawls, early battles.
pick an immediate gate crash out from this point. KC already a player down. They want to commit, claim that space that they've already paid for in a way. Deep flash is good. They go in with Alkia finding two, but no! What? G2 on the mid push. They've grouped up. Of course, who is leading the charge but Nello, and it's about to be the battle of ciphers in the spawn. More of an execution, and the hack comes off the head. It's not a sign of respect, but an attempt to further beat KC into the dirt. That is an ambitious TP. Alkia already claiming the space, the information there and where the hit's coming through, but now they have to play the retake, you would think, before the spike even goes down. They're running through, but look who's waiting.
That's basically equal to 5 kills at this stage of the game. Anacilia waiting in the corner, but she's been found and isolated. Nobody else really in a position to trade. Glance has already used that Hunter's Fury. That ultimate is gone. If GX goes, there's no gun left, but just about survives and makes the exact same mistake that Petra does, not realizing where her opponent currently is. The tap on the spike, it's not being cleared, but still Glance been able to buy some extra time. Shock Dart will do nothing, but the Sheriff will do the rest. Another clutch on. Alkia finds herself a kill. Vanya will look to just try and get information, try and clear, and that player up close, but instead, GX has peeked back in front, managed to find another, giving them a huge advantage in this late fight, and while Vanya from here has so much still to do. A rifle retrieved, but that clock has been ticking all this time. There shouldn't be any chance for her here.
And see the audio engineers freak out, but I'm not going to do that. I have unmuted myself. Nello, the big player on the other side. It is a Cypher. 21 kills in that first half, and Alkia, well, maybe she's looking to set a record of her own. A double opening, and Glance cleaning up onto Vanya. This one has convincingly gone the way of Case.
Lurking Cypher, always something we like to highlight, but it can be difficult to get as much impact as when players are walking into your site. So see if Nello can keep up that same sort of momentum. For now, though, Anacilia, a wonderful shot to start, and so much damage already done. This is going to be an easy cleanup.
Oh, the rotations come in. Anacilia is going to be here. Utility with it, and the stun has slowed them a moment. 30 seconds on the clock, but still plenty of time to get into that site. Rotation from Alkia as well, just now making it to the smoke, and they'll push out together. Traps waiting for a flash, and there we go. Big swing and a couple kills. And Anacilia holding back sight, takes out the Bucky, and looking for an upgrade. Perhaps there's a couple options on the floor as Vanya and Nello desperately try to recover control.
And still having that outlaw for this round. Finding a gap's not going to be easy.
Oh, the TP straight in, and Vanya gets the kill. I'm surviving on a sliver of health, but that is highway robbery. Look, Aline GX is here to settle the record, but Vanya still shouldn't be able to hold on to those points of health, but grabs a second. She's still in this round, and G2 doesn't look great, but they still have a chance.
A 5 HP dimensional drift to get the spike down. They believe that they can win this one.
KC certainly will be happy if this ends up being a C split. Drone coming up through long, and Nello catches one on B. That doesn't signal a change in direction, though. They're still moving forward towards this C site into the stack. Numbers waiting for them as Petra just found out. GX, good for one in the window, but hold on. G2 have still got some fight in them. G2 here, double digits for KC.
Oh, Mimi, I think, is potentially setting up the Rolling Thunder, but I don't know if it's going to catch the players in this back corner. It has. That's a problem. 2 players currently here. Glance, though, does manage to survive. Still holding onto the ground as the rotations come through from her teammates. Does well, but it's GX that's finding the frags. A low Nello and Mimi stand. 30 seconds left on the clock. Info handed over to either side. GX trying to TP at the last second and now has to try and do all of the damage first.
We're going a little bit deeper, taking some spawn fights. Inside the smoke seems to be the play. Amy's up close, decent damage done. Maybe someone else can connect that kill with Alkia on just 15 HP. Blinded up and dealt with. The rifle not retrieved. They need to keep this fight going for G2. It's not easy with these weapons and the Rolling Thunder. That adds an extra level of difficulty. It's a big commitment, but it must something to get back in there. What is the retake for KC that gives them the confidence to do that? Well, I guess we're about to find out.
Alkia with a Blaze Storm flying through the air. That's their confidence. The worry, though, is you've got all that Teo utility. Already? Okay, maybe the worry's Petra spamming through smoke. Mimi down below. Okay, they're not using the Armageddon. There's absolutely no need. And not liking the solo hold with a Marshall. That seems like it's going to be rough. You're going to see that dimensional drift popped, and yeah, sure, they're going to spot a couple of players at the back of the site with a stun in play. It doesn't get much easier than that.
Well, I think Yoru said it best just there. I'm back. And I don't know if that was the voice line of the agent or of the team, because G2 felt like they were back to 11-9. G2 still have a bit of a comeback to go on. They've got control. They move back to long. They've got Armageddon. They've got Rolling Thunder. They've got salvos by the time those ults are used through. Question is, can KC use them up? At this point, winning the round is going to be really difficult already. The punish is there. It should have been, but Glance comes in with another 4-piece. All signs pointing to this map closing out in favor of KC. 12-9, and the deep A push that they've gone for. The whole team is here. Nello's killed one. Maybe she's expecting one more. Thinks it's just the Omen. Well, here comes a drone. All right, that's a bit more. Okay. Well, Nello's actually isolated that fight perfectly. So is Vanya, knowing there's a second player there. Plant going down just within the 45-second mark. Now you look behind Nello. It's got containment, but if they can deal with her and Petra, there's weapons to be recovered. That is much easier said than done, but the stun helps out a ton. A fight from up top drops Petra. Now there's weapons being retrieved, and we've not even really seen... Oh, here we go. Armageddon in full effect. Hunter's Fury's being fired out in the other direction, and this is going to buy some time. But that spike's not ticking that fast. They need to win these fights. Mimi doing her best, picking up one, but now they're close on the site, and they're already defusing. It's down to Vanya, and she is no more. Petra always being behind you, and Christnella just had one of the best maps I've seen from her in a long time. Vanya coming in warmed up as well to take the opening, but it's quickly traded back.
Few seconds, so that's the thing. KC need to get a move on. They need to get back into the site much quicker than maybe they would like, and they've got to get past Nello. Nello without utility, so is just deciding to fight aggressively. Amy in the backlines has caught another, and she's just looking for that perfect moment to throw those salvos in. Already buying that extra time. And Acilia left to try and face versus 2. The flash
towards the side of the map where there's only one player. But look where that one player's gotten to. With a bookie in hand, they've jumped up.
Ticking down to that sort of 15-second marker. If she dropped the spike, it could have been round over, but instead, well, she died and it's round over.
Oh, look, they've gotten a kill out of it. Let's see the question of damage. They're going as a unit straight through middle. This is where you'll try one of these riskier strategies. And Zafia smoked off, not able to take that fight. So as they come around the corner, a little overwhelmed by the numbers. Down 1 already, but the trade is quickly found. G2, though, closed the gap. There's a weapon on the floor, and they very much want it. Trying to keep them back is Glance, and the triple kill already connected. 1 away from the Hunter's Fury. Oh, they might even have a chance to take this last kill. Offensive side, just having that operator on Petra as she holds down map control late on the attacks.
GX go down. The timing of her movement is going to leave her fairly in the open. And didn't even look like Nello let go of the W key. The trade as well for Alkia trying to get back in and look for information.
It was insane. Already down to a 3v2 thanks to it. And Hunter's Fury will be committed with 12 seconds on the clock. Cancelled here for the pick. Form popped by Alkia with this deep A push. The first contact is a pistol. And now they're looking the other way. Ready for this fight, but maybe not quite for that. The jump peak, good for Alkia. Spike, hard to hold on to from this angle, though. And I think they will just be conceding it, looking for the mid push instead. But it's fragmented. It's one at a time, and
Amy's trying to hold back the player in middle. Using those salvos to try and deny further angles so she can fight instead. And well, it's definitely dicey. The knives are now gone. It's in the perfect place at the perfect time. 2 players in a direction. Amy already desperately low.
4 players are currently in KC's spawn. That's how far back they've been pushed with just GX being isolated. An island in and of herself, and still gets one.
Removing that Viper screen is, of all the players you could have taken down, it's not bad. I am, however, looking at a lockdown and an Armageddon. There's not going to be a whole lot of positions to play, and Vanya, Wade
sitting down. Not much to retake in terms of flashes. Vanya and Petra have already used up theirs. Salvos are online in Armageddon, though. That's the real thing. They might not be able to go for the fights as convincingly, but they can delay that clock. Run it right down, but it's down to 1.
Made this map at times a little bit dry was just how attack-sided it could be with the composition that KC are running. Like with the amount of util, again, you have to clear angles. I don't think they should be massively worried if they can get a few rounds on the board. And you know what? They're giving it a damn good go in this one.
GX won't be able to recover anything, but can just hold tight and wait for Alkia's flank to come through. They'll be watching for it. But Alkia's managed to recover a rifle, and that's the big difference maker. Look at the decision-making from G2, though. They know only one player spotted. They're alone, and they isolate that. Sense in the blood in the water. It's left to Alkia. Rifle up top. And now they know exactly where she is. The tap gets the salvos out. There's still a flash and a snake bite to work with. That was Nello going for a knife kill. You had that, Petra's flanks, and then Nello, as you're pushing into her. I mean, we saw the change on Haven from defense to offense. Just imagine when it flips over, because here she has been doing work. It's an absolute slaughter inside of middle. KC, they pushed up, stacked up, expecting you won't go through the Viper's pit, and if you go back for G2, this is not going to be an easy fight, and they were waiting for the aggression that just hasn't come either.
Oh, up close still. They've managed to get into that after plant, but already a player down, and those ultimates haven't found a spot to really be utilized just yet. Also, Amy's Armageddon is, again, not going to find anything, and they're stuck in a corner.
They've already got a lot of groundwork done. Just 3 left to play for, and it looks like no sign of that confidence wavering. GX has pushed straight up through B main, despite a 3-stack.
Clear out any of those awkward angles that could potentially deny the plant. They will get that eventually into position, but they're actually fighting forward. They want to clear this mid spot, and again, they're walking into the crosshair of Glance. This is a play you don't want to be facing off against. And Acilia as well.
Well, there's the information finding its way into GX's hands. It's a low buy, so this is what we don't want to see, this much aggression. That was a little bit whiffy, and the price paid could have been huge. KC maintained control. Rotation in from Glance, not landing the shots either. GX under pressure, but she's corrected her aim. She's lifted her mouse, and it also shows how long GX has been around. Lockdown coming into play for G2 again, moving towards this site. Alkia wants to get incredibly aggressive. It's free. The Blade Storm almost traded out for the lockdown here.
Oh. Space taken on this A site, be it by half of the squad, mostly by Vania, just giving them that extra space to put things into position. I've got to stick around and try and survive while detained. It's a gamble, but I think it might be worth it.
Mimi broke it. Mimi broke it. The rotation through B just in time, but Nello still goes down. Viper's pitfalls. Safia with the double. They're still in with a chance to defuse halfway. And now looking for the rest of the players. The panic ensues, but Mimi cool on the backside.
Came out from the side of G2. Of course, they've had the time.
They've got their plant. Now, all they have to do is hold on. Alki has seen a lot of contact, waiting for the flash, but even still loses the fight. GX in a similar position, but trading out, keeping the numbers modest for the retaking side. The spike ticking, and it's Glance for another big play with damage done. It's a fraction of health left for Amy, and an easy close.
What G2 can do in this one, the spike is, well, probably going to be found, but like, I was going to say to get anything here is going to be rough. They've won the fight at long range versus the Guardian. And then they met the other Guardian! Okay! Still though, an opportunity to clear some of those angles with the salvo. Solid utility in combination with it, although they've not cleared it properly. A real opportunity for Alkia still, already finding one. Buying more time. Nello though, not missing a beat. Second to her name. Mimi with another trade, and this is looking like a wipe down. Even still though, it's come down to a 1 versus 1. GX to try and clutch this one out, and that time, it's ticking decently low. This one's going to be incredibly close. I don't know if she's got it.
For G2, at least the lower bracket's still there, and the game is far from over.
Beginning, they were being able to take space and then having that backup. Well, this time, most of the time, they've been shut down. Also, Mimi's been caught trying to push up mid. That's the thing. These lurks, these players holding the backline for KC have been doing an amazing job. And now they get the entry as well. Nello at least will be able to recover. Stop GX flanking. And in fact, Vania's looking to try and garner as much control as possible early in the round. Takes a hell of a lot of damage, but does survive.
Not the second shot she doesn't, and then Alkia dives in behind them. A gap, a blind spot, and one she quickly exploits. This one
is not working, well, versus GX and the rest of her team. Either way. Yeah, it definitely has a cross-section. Make a lot of players low, but that's okay for the side of GT, although that cross-section is quickly dissipating, and every single kill going the way of... They might be able to get a 2-for-1 deal. But G2 currently struggling to find absolutely everything. Honestly, the rotation here from G2 is pretty good. Yeah, Mimi, a bit of a surprise factor. Trying to get up close, that Armageddon will go through, forcing them into a bit more of an awkward battle. But the flash is sublime! And Acilia again is looking to try and save her team for back-to-back rounds. But both players are somewhat unknown, doesn't have the information. It seems like neither do they. Vania almost caught out completely in the open. Tagged low, but Mimi's spot. She's actually going to check for it. She actually expects this angle.
Finding its way into the attacker's favor. This time, though, it's a lurk on mid and a much more direct approach to A.
Yeah, they're going to try and eliminate Petra. Actually, I think predicted where the TP was going to go, but doesn't quite manage to close her out. She's been having a rougher time, that's for sure. Last time a hero on this map. Down to just one. Excuse me? Still manages to get away with one. Not too bad. Amy on the site eliminated as well, though. Safia still thriving, but look at the health. And Acilia and Safia low, but it doesn't matter. She doesn't give a damn. She doesn't care. Nello versus the world. Two low players. The one facing her is not.
This might be too much to ask. Low HP. This is it. This is match and series point, and look at the investment.
Toxin screen down.
Yeah, and it's just such a weak round in terms of weaponry. Still have the lockdown, but getting it to play could be awkward. I don't know if Nello... She does, but it doesn't matter. GX with a better positioning. Nice shot from Amy. They've still got some life in them. There's no doubt about that. The problem, though, is with that after plant in play, it's going to get more difficult. The double swing, but it's only the one. Leaves things with... Well, I did have an advantage, but Safia again...
Time ticking, and they don't know where she is. But only a pistol in hand. These shots need to be clean, and Anacilia's been there every time KC have needed her.